Hi guys, welcome to Savvy Money Show with me, your host Sean. I'm not going to go back over last year's picks, mainly because 7 out of 10 of them were multi-baggers. You can go and check them yourself. I will be doing my penny stock ones again. As I said, 7 out of 10 of them were multi-baggers. The 8th one was 50% up. The other two went nowhere. I'll put that down to one of them being Chinese stock, and they've been hit quite badly, and one of them is actually going to be on the list this year because I just think it has hit all the metrics, but it hasn't been bought up. It's been pushed down, and I will explain that in another video. But now we're going on to the stocks I'm buying and looking at the beginning of the year and my reasons why. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment in the box below, and subscribe. Only 20% of you are subscribing. Don't forget to share with anyone you think could be interested. I am going to do a few other types of videos on the economy and reasons why certain things are happening. So don't think it's just going to be on stocks and shares, although that is going to be a majority of it. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below. You get pick up a free share for signing up for the likes of Trading 212, Free Trade, Lightyear, a whole host of freebies with a whole host of different companies. I'm not sponsored by anyone. This is the only way I can fund my channel to get new equipment and to fund my mission, help the homeless. Anyway, let's move on. Vodafone Group. Now, we played this before, and it's down near the lows. But why? It gives a good dividend. It's at a low PE ratio, and it's a major European mobile network. And Keir Starmer came out with support for infrastructure. Well, because the Italian government came out with stage 2 investigation into the sell-off of Vodafone Italia to Swisscom, and Competition's Market Authority were looking into the merger of Free and Vodafone. Now, Keir Starmer got involved and said for Competition's Market Authority to be a bit more flexible with infrastructure. So that's going ahead, unless anything else puts a spanner in its works, but for the moment it's going ahead. The Swisscom deal was the main one because they were going to buy Italia, Vodafone, for $6 billion that was going to wipe out the debt, and another $2 billion that was going to go towards buybacks. Now, when they originally announced this, that would have been 10% of the company. Now it's 14%. It will be, because of the price coming down, it will be 14% of the company that they are going to cancel the shares off. So they are going to take out 14% of the company, while wiping out $6 billion in debt. But we're going to talk about some fundamentals. Market cap is 17.15 billion versus 52.97 billion. Trailing PE of 9 versus forward PE of 16. So they don't expect much growth. PEG ratio of 0.59. Price to sales of 0.59. Price to book of 0.34. So the only issue here is a forward PE. And why have they got that there? Well, Germany, their numbers were terrible, and that's because the economy in Germany at the moment is terrible. We can see that their thing is, in Turkey and Africa, their numbers have been amazing and have offset the Germany numbers, which have been the important thing. But for them to truly hit the ground running, they need the Germany numbers to come up as well. But you can see that they have 10 billion free cash flow and 17 billion market cap. Hold on, did I get that? Yeah. Yep, 10 billion. And it's sorry if I'm flicking through, but it's the way I go through things. But you can see here, the debt was always an issue with me. That you'll see that they still had massive amount of assets to liabilities. You know, the fact that their current and total liabilities still outweighed the current and total assets outweighed their total and current liabilities. It was great, but for them to knock out 6 billion of that is going to give them a lot of breathing room, especially with interest rates the way they are. And while we're at it, we'll look at, because we've said about Airtel, about Africa numbers, we'll look at Airtel Africa. Now, Airtel Africa, you can see in itself is doing well, and it's a 1.1 billion company in free cash flow, and the market cap is 4 billion. This is a company I spoke about a couple of years ago, and a forward P of 5.84. Now, give a 4% dividend, and I think any pullback below 100 I would be picking up. And if you recall, we were picking it up between the 50 to 70 range, and we sold out when it went up to about 140. But I still believe this is a good company to have long term. I wouldn't be against buying it here, but I would rather have it under 100. I'm picking up some CRISPR here under 40. I said I would. Yeah, if you remember, I sold at 90 during the run up the other year, a year ago. And at the moment, I'm still using my profit to buy. And the reason why I sold out of my Sana, I've got very little left, and I'm about to pick up some. I sold out at 7, well, just under 7. It was about 6.5, and I'm looking to buy back again. if it comes to 3 or below, I will be buying. They used the Cas12b to make edits necessary to achieve avoiding immune rejection and produce insulin without immunosuppression in their diabetes program. And another one I'm picking up is off the back of this Sana is Beam Therapeutics, who partnered with Sana and may receive milestones and royalties. Why they're down on this is anyone's guess. And the last one that is down. Now these are ones that I've bought and sold out of, making a profit, and they're down below my original buying price. Caribou, CRBU, they're using CRISPR ex vivo for CAR T and autoimmune response. Now, there's one that is just down way too low, in my opinion, and that's Intellia. They have 3 in vivo CRISPR phase 3 pivotal trials ongoing. The ATTRCM, the HAE, and ATTRPN. There's conflicting information from people about whether it's worth buying or not. Its price to sales is high, but the thing that worries me is I'm glad they got rid of 27% of the staff to cut costs, and they cut out one of their programs, because I wasn't that impressed with it in the first place. The issue is, according someone on X, not that I'm going to take their information as gold, but he reckons his information has been pretty good, solid in the past. He reckons that they have also gotten rid of people who have been involved in these 3 programs from the start as well. So I'm waiting to confirm that before I make any decisions. I'm slowly adding, again, using only my profits from this. For those of you who didn't know, I had to buy a house this year, so I sold out of all of these when they ran up before, and I got incredibly lucky, because otherwise I would have held on to them and got hit in the biotech crash. So now I can buy up using the profits. Now, once the profit's been done, I have to take a closer look. I would have thought Sana curing someone with type 1 diabetes would have risen all CRISPR stocks, but clearly not. We have Crocs. They've diversified. They were originally just moulded plastic for healthcare workers, and then they started by adding fur lining and their Crocs magnets for shoes. And I would go to these markets, like for my kids' schools and all this, where they do fairs and all these makers markets, and I'd see them everywhere, and they were incredibly expensive at these fairs. So I couldn't imagine how much they were charging online, and they were selling. And I'm seeing youngsters everywhere wearing these, whereas before it used to be just healthcare workers. Now, they've fallen 22% and down 40% from their peak growth, because they've fallen from double digit to 3.2% in the last few months. A big part of the problem is the Hey Dude brand sales, which is down 15%, but Crocs is still highly profitable. It's still just moulded plastic coming from a machine, and they're valued at As you can see here, under 8 times earnings, and they could do incredibly well if the HeyDude numbers improve. And I think it is one to keep on your watch list. I have just picked a small starter position up again. Now, Nike. I've been fighting this and fighting it, but I did say when it got to in the 70s, I would nibble at it. The problem with Nike has been it went direct to consumer and burnt bridges. They got rid of that CEO, rightfully so, and they brought in someone who's been with the company for 30 years, who knows the brand inside out. You're not buying it for the dividend because it's only 2%. I expect that dividend to grow. However, it still has brand recognition. You are going to get it because he is building those bridges with the stores, and we're seeing more and more Nike in the stores and at higher prices. I mean, I did see lots of discounts across Nike in the direct to consumer, and he realised that it was cheaper just to have them in the stores. I think this new CEO could turn it around, and I think when Nike is traditionally around about a 30 PE, it's around about a 25 to 30 PE. It's not looking too expensive here. I do like it, but it does have problems, so I'm not going too heavy in this. When I am going heavy, AMD. Now, the PE ratio is terrible, 102. We know that. But forward PE 23, which is half of Nvidia's. I think it's been beaten down, and the problem here is where Jensen Huang is an amazing salesperson. You can see the CEO of AMD is more on the tech. The other thing is with Nvidia, although they said they've dispatched all their black boxes, there have been production issues, which gives AMD a chance to pick up the pieces. Now, I was asked a question, and I'm doing this off the fly now, about Intel. Now, if I was Intel, I would get rid of the dividend. They already got knocked down because they cut the dividend. Just get rid of it altogether, put it into either growth or knocking out the debt. It's not worth having a 2% dividend for a company like this. You have a forward P of 21. Now, for the risk you're taking on here, you have what is known as the Trump thing. The market went down, everyone thinking Trump's tariffs are going to bring inflation back, and it's going to be a nightmare. But I'm not too sure. I mean, you could go anywhere with that. Also about the hot jobs report, and people are paying down credit card debt now, which usually happens during inflationary days. But then Elon Musk was supposed to come in and tackle inflation and possibly bring in deflation. you know, you have to think that Trump is going to invest in America. Otherwise, what's the point in tariffs? And I don't mean in Greenland, America, or Mexico, America, but actual America. It's this is one of these that could do well for you as a short-term trade. However, there could be a lot of pain in it for you as well. I'm not against it, but I would limit the fact that they're going to turn their Ace Venture Capital arm into a separate fund with a new arm. You know, it's I would want to know more about that. You know, it's I would want to know whether shareholders keep sharing that, or whether it's just going to be like a private company. But let me know in the comment box what you guys are buying if you're in Intel, and reasons why. Because if China invades Taiwan, we could do incredibly well. Small caps. Someone asked me about small caps ETF because an analyst has said that they should do well. Well, that's because small caps are in correction territory while the other markets are in pullback territory. So, I apologise for background noise, I am outside. And so here we have it. So according to him, you've got the KRE for the banking, regional banking, which is what he said, and the IWN. I prefer to buy my own individual ones, and of course OSB, which is a company I spoke about before, has an 8.8% dividend and 3.95 PE, and you see there price to book 0.62. With banks you need to look at price to book, and it's always about price to book with banks. I'm sorry I'm a bit late because some of my stocks, I was preparing the video and some of my stocks are just going up. KYMR, you know, they have 911 million in cash on a balance sheet, and then if you look at the pipeline, is worth, if you discount where they are in the stage, they're about 1.5 to 1.9 billion, so you get about 2.8 billion in value. They have 64.8 million shares outstanding, so it comes to about 43.37, so they're close to fairly valued. Now, I spoke about them on my free Discord when they were 37. There was some, which is Somero Enterprises, you know, it's a 9 PE and 7% dividend. They make levelling up equipment for concrete and building. Revenue's down 18%, stock is down 16%, has been profitable since 2013 and a clean balance sheet. So as one of those that I think could be worth a punt. RXRX, it's an AI stock. We're going to find out this week whether the program they're working on is good or not with JP Morgan. I'm going to dig down into it. But the way I look at it is the cash balance is about $800 at the time of merger and about $3 billion in value for the pipeline assets. So got about 3.8 billion. And outstanding share count is 381 or 385 million shares outstanding. So with 385 million, get to 987 for the price. So you've got about 50% upside. Now, they have 2 key investigational oncology drugs advancing to clinical trials. I've said about them quite a while people were a bit like banging on the bandwagon about AI, and if you remember, I spoke about IONQ the other year when they were $5 and Rigetti when they were $1, and now they're $50, and when I hit $50, I said how I wouldn't be buying here. I was sold out of all of my quantum computing stocks. And why did Jensen Huang speak about quantum computing taking so long? The timing was just so weird. It's came just after it was announced that AI was used in a bomb in a Cybertruck outside of Trump's hotel. So it was almost as if they were worried there'd be backlash in the AI space. So he diverted it to quantum computing. And don't forget, with IONQ, the majority of its money comes from the Air Force. If that dries up, anyway, we're getting to the end. Coupang, Amazon of South Korea, revenue growth has been good, but stock has been down 13% thanks to the turmoil in South Korea. SIGA, the monkeypox vaccine, PE of 5, and it's Japan's just approved it as the first for smallpox and monkeypox and orthopox. I think that's well valued, but we'll see. Starbulk, a dividend of 14. I don't expect that to stay, and PE of 5. But this is one of my favourite carrier stocks. 1.78 versus 2.81 billion. Market cap to enterprise value. And last two, which is Prime, which is any time under 3, I'm buying it. I'm picking it up, and I sell it when it gets 7 and above. And I keep my profit in 3 shares. Now, my very last one is actually, oh no, that's not it. Next Energy Solar Fund, and the P is terrible, but it's forward P of 10. Price to sales is terrible, and the fact is, I think this is a great one to hold. It has more than 100 solar projects worldwide, and it's showing a 13% dividend, although they can cut that at any time, as you know. And net asset value, in my opinion, is at 90. So anytime it hits 90, I sell out. But it's one of those that I buy and hold, and again, I keep my profit in free shares. These are the ones I'm looking at buying and buying. Let me know what you guys are looking at, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I'm sorry it was so long today, and I'll see you in the next video.